If we turn our backs and spit in his face, is God still gonna bless the USA?
A foreign diplomat who had often criticized American policy once observed a U.S. Marine perform the evening colors ceremony. The diplomat wrote about this simple but solemn ceremony in a letter to his home ministry. He said, "During one of the past few days, I visited the U.S. Embassy in our capital after official working hours. I arrived at 5:45 and was met by the Marine on guard at the entrance of the Chancery. He asked if I would mind waiting a while he lowered the embassy's 2 American flags. What I witnessed over the next 10 minutes so impressed me that I am now led to make this occurrence part of my ongoing record." The Marine was dressed in a uniform which was spotless and neat. He walked with a measured tread from the entrance of the Chancery to the first flagpole and almost reverently lowered the flag to the level of his reach, where he began to fold it into a triangle. He then released the flag from the clasps, stepped back from the pole, made an about face, and carried the flag between his hands, one above, one below, and placed it securely on a stand before the Chancery. He then marched over to the second flagpole and repeated the same lonesome ceremony. After completing his task, he apologized for the delay out of pure courtesy, as nothing less than incapacity would have prevented him from fulfilling his goal. He said to me, "Thank you for waiting, sir. I had to honor my country." Greetings, Patriots. I'm Perry Green. Welcome to our God in America podcast. There's a debate among professed Christians regarding whether or not we should be patriots. There's an ever-present danger of letting America become an idol and neglecting God. Every so often, I need to stop and reassess my motives and actions to ensure that I am prioritizing God and His kingdom in my life and in the God in America ministry. The Bible gives us some direction. God is our priority, but we still honor the honorable. We owe our nation's support within God's parameters of right and wrong. When the Hebrews were in Babylon, God told them, "Build houses and dwell in them, plant gardens and eat their fruit, take wives and beget sons and daughters, and take wives for your sons, and give your daughters to husbands, so that they may bear sons and daughters, that you may be increased there and not diminished. And seek the peace of the city where I have caused you to be carried away captive, and pray to the Lord for it is in its peace you will have peace." I have enormous respect for our fallible founders and framers. They were not perfect in all their ways, but they were faithful. They had a firm reliance on divine providence and committed their lives, fortunes, and sacred honor to seeking peace with Great Britain before taking up arms to defend themselves. In wanting the best for their country, they knew the people had to commit to God. Let me mention these familiar quotes. John Adams said, "Our Constitution was made only for a moral and religious people. It is wholly inadequate to the government of any other." George Washington wrote, "Of all the dispositions and habits which lead to political prosperity, religion and morality are indispensable supports. In vain would that man claim the tribute of patriotism who should labor to subvert these great pillars of human happiness, these firmest props of the duties of men and citizens." John Adams considered Dr. Benjamin Rush to be the fourth most influential man in the early republic, behind George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, and Benjamin Franklin. We don't know much about him, but he was a genuine patriot and Christian. He once said, "I have been alternately called an aristocrat and a Democrat. I'm neither. I'm a Christocrat. I believe all power will always fail of producing order and happiness in the hands of man. He alone who created and redeemed man is qualified to govern him." When Jeroboam I led the 10 northern tribes out of Israel's union, he made a fatal mistake. He didn't take God. Instead of allowing his citizens to return to Jerusalem for the sacrifices and feasts according to the Torah, he set up idols in northern Israel. He did not want his people to immigrate to Judah. He incorporated elements of Baal worship in their idolatrous practices and worshiped the demon behind the image. According to Patrick Henry and others who were involved in the break with Great Britain, America began as a Christian endeavor. It reflected the Pilgrims' intentions and was God based. Over time, we have drifted from those early roots. We've made our government into an idol we serve rather than a servant of the people. On the one hand, people fight to protect their dependence on the government. On the other, people fight for independence and against government overreach. We want our rights, but they don't come from congressional vote. We want liberty, but it doesn't begin with a rifle. It all commences with the Lord. 2 Corinthians 3:17 is a familiar reminder that the Lord is the Spirit, and where the Spirit of the Lord is, there is liberty. God in America is my feeble attempt to remind Americans of our need to honor God supremely. When we have God, we have everything we seek. We must not make our government or our memory of America into idols. Rather, we serve the Creator rather than the created. This requires being people committed to God, humbly seeking Him, and contritely praying for His interventions. We have no other gods. America is in a precarious position. Generally, we have rejected God and made ourselves the standards of right and wrong. We have worshiped our creations instead of Him. We have a new definition of family and reject the biblical one. We exalt the science that transgenders little boys and girls and ignore the one who knows us in the womb. We sacrifice the unborn to the demons rather than dedicating them to God. Daniel Webster declared, "If we abide by the principles taught in the Bible, our country will go on prospering and to prosper. But if we and our posterity neglect its instruction and authority, no man can tell how sudden a catastrophe may overwhelm us and bury all our glory in profound obscurity." Political solutions fail us. Clever propaganda is fading. Demonstrations are flopping. What's a country to do? Repent and believe the gospel, or else our once noteworthy nation will fail and descend into oblivion. Thank you for being with us today. As we close, let's keep the light of seeking God burning.